Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Coach Bronson here. It is Tuesday, and we are live talking about all things health, fitness, keto related, carnivore related, making your life better related. Before we get started today, we're talking about diet food, keto food, processed food that's supposed to be 0 calories, zero carbs, and all that good stuff so you can hit your macros and still enjoy every bite that you take. Before we do that, I want to remind you to subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Click the bell so you're reminded every time I come out with a new video. And most importantly, what's going on, Yvette? Most importantly, please share this information with somebody you care about so that they can learn, they can grow, and improve their quality of life. Okay. All right. So now, this is a big one. Something that I come across literally every single day. Okay. There are so many companies and products out there, literally hundreds, probably thousands, that and growing, because keto is becoming a thing, right? We're taking over the world. People are realizing the ketogenic diet works and they want to get on that train. So they're by a lot of different means, not all of them above board. Not all of them are necessarily even within the guidelines of what you could consider the guidelines, I guess, if you want to have guidelines for what keto is. A lot of people are falling for it. A lot of people are going to replacements of foods that they would normally eat. And we've talked about this in the past. We've talked about diet drinks in particular and the mentality behind trying to make a change without making a change. Okay. I want to change my life. I want things to be better, but I don't want to do it that much. Right. I want everything to be as easy as possible when I'm trying to change my life around. Okay. There's a cognitive dissonance in that kind of thinking. If you're going to change, you need to change. Okay. So without getting into all that, we've already talked about that. If you're interested in more the mentality behind being stuck in an old lifestyle, being stuck in trying to keep the things you want in your life without actually making changes, but then also at the same time wanting to make changes and not understanding how to get out of that, go back to my other video about why diet sodas might be holding you back. Okay. Because we talk about that in the context of diet sodas. This is a similar conversation. We're going to talk a little bit more specifics about how your body reacts to diet food, 0 calorie food, zero carb food. Okay. I'm going to be sciencey without being sciencey. We're going to talk about generalizations because there's an understanding and there's some basic concepts that I want you guys to grasp. Okay. Just wrap your head around the high level stuff, because if we get too far in the weeds, you're going to get lost. High level stuff, because common sense works at the basics. You don't need to get down into the science and for the common sense to hit you in the face. Okay. So we're going to talk about the first thing that's important is to understand the different types of inflammation that we deal with every day. Okay. And this is one of the biggest reasons why I want you to understand inflammation and chronic stress, and then positive stress that's good for us, because that's really one of the main things, the main factors that comes into play in our bodies biologically when we talk about 0 carb, 0 calorie food. Okay. It's about inflammation. Okay. It's not about the calories. So this is one of those things. Think about this for a second. We're talking about common sense, making some logical connections. If calories don't matter, then why are we eating food that has no calories? Because they don't matter. If I'm not worried about the calories, I'm worried about the quality of my food, then why am I trying to eat food specifically because it doesn't have calories? Okay, think about that. Play around with that one in your head for a little bit. Okay. Stress is the main issue. Stress, the response that your body has to things that it doesn't know what to do with. Okay. And we'll talk about what that means in a minute. There are two kinds of stress. There's hormetic stress, hormesis, which is the kind of stress you get when you work out. Hormetic stress is the stress that tells your body something is changing. I need to do something and learn how to adapt to this new stimulus. I'm stimulating something, I'm doing something, I'm activating something, and I'm telling my body, you need to make a change. Okay. That's what exercise is. Exercise is a hormetic stress. Okay. It's a stress that you apply and then you take off. It's controlled, right? And you give your body a chance to recover and repair. There's a process called supercompensation where you add a stress to your body, you take it off and you recover. This is why recovery is so important. Okay. You recover. And then during that recovery period, your body recovers and repairs itself and then can perform better at the thing that you asked it to do. Okay. That's why if I lift a weight that's really heavy, then I rest. The next time I try to lift weight, I should be able to lift more weight because I had that super compensation period. Okay. Same thing happens with our body. That's what fat adaptation is. We adapt our body. Okay. We adapt our body by taking out the carbs. We're telling our body, hey, we need to get better and improve the ability to burn fat. Okay. That's why it's a process. It takes time. We give our body time to make the adaptation. Okay. When we're doing something continually over and over and over again, we never give our body the time to recover, repair, and supercompensate. Then we get into what we call chronic stress, chronic inflammation, and things go downhill from there. Okay. And that's where a majority of all the chronic issues and disease that we have in the society today it comes from. Okay. Carbs and processed foods, seed oils, all that junk that our body has no idea what to do with, so it gets inflamed. Okay. Inflammation is a response to the stress. Okay. I want to make that very clear. And this is what we're going to talk about today when we talk about zero carb, zero calorie food. Inflammation is a response to the stress. They're not the same thing. You get stressed, your body responds. Inflammation is a response to something happening in your body that your body doesn't like. It doesn't know what to do. It doesn't know how to respond. So it reacts to heal and repair itself. Inflammation is a reparation process. Okay. If I cut my arm and then the area around the cut gets red, it gets pussy, it gets scabby, gets inflamed. Inflammation is a response to the damage that was done to my skin in an effort to help repair and protect the damaged area. Please, please, please understand that inflammation is good. Inflammation is part of your immune response. Okay. Unless I cut myself and then I take a day off. And then in the morning, I wake up and cut myself in the same spot again and take a day off. And then the next morning, I cut myself in the same spot again and take a day. And I keep doing that. What's going to happen? That thing is going to get infected and pussy. I could lose my arm and get gangrene. Like it just, the immune response becomes too much, too consistent. It never has a chance to actually heal. It is always in inflammation and it is in that response state of, oh my God, something's wrong. We need to fix it. But it never actually gets a chance to fix it. Okay. That's what we're going to talk about. When we talk about zero carb, zero calorie foods, okay, here's the deal. What is it? What is it? If it doesn't have calories, if it doesn't have carbs, then by definition, it is something that our body does not have a metabolic response for. Right? Carbs, even if they do cause more inflammation, more oxidative stress, and they can easily, if we overconsume them, turn into body fat, the same as fat does. Fat can turn to body fat too. Just because it has less oxidative stress and less inflammation that comes from it doesn't mean it can't turn into fat. Okay. And obviously, we're not talking about fat. We're talking about metabolic function. Okay. We're talking about how well your body performs and doing things to remove the detractors from how well and how efficient your body works. Okay. So if zero carb, zero calorie food is by definition zero carb and zero calorie, then that means you're eating something your body has no metabolic response for. Even carbs has a metabolic response. You have a glycolytic pathway. You have a processes that are built into our genome, that are built into our biology to process carbohydrates into fuel, into fat, into things that our body can utilize. It's there. It exists. Okay. Replacements for natural whole food substances. Okay. Man-made replacements for whole food natural substances do not have a natural metabolic pathway. We weren't born with a pathway for maltodextrin or erythritol or maltose or who knows all these names, right? Human beings don't have pathways for these things. That's why we can supposedly eat them and they just pass right through. Do they really pass right through though? What happens when you eat something that your body doesn't know what to do with? Okay. Everything that we do to our body has a response first. There has to be a response in order for there to be an action or a reaction, right? A reaction. Everything in our body is a reaction to a stimulus that we apply. Every time you take a bite of food, your body reacts to that food, even if the reaction is, I need to get this out of me as quickly as possible. Okay. Alcohol is a toxin that we have a pathway biologically that we have a pathway to process. Okay. I don't even know all the different names of all the different products and things that are being used today to make things 0-calorie and 0-carb. Okay. I know we don't have biological processes for them. Our body has to do one of two things. It has to treat it like a toxin. Okay. Or get rid of it because it just doesn't know what to do with it, which is basically the same as treat it like a toxin. I need to get rid of this because I don't know what to do. That process is highly inflammatory. Okay. Here's the thing I want you to take away from here. Okay. Everything that you do to your body is either a net positive or a net negative. Your body has to respond, and that response will determine if you are improving your metabolic function or if you're taking away from your metabolic function. Every single time. Okay. When we say the calories don't matter, okay, the calories matter, and we've talked about fuel calories versus functional calories. Okay. Fuel calories from a fuel perspective help you become efficient, and you can manage that to get better at burning fuel. Functional calories help improve your metabolic function and keep you running healthy. Okay. If low carb and low calorie food, 0-carb, 0-calorie food doesn't fit into either one of those, then what is it doing? Anything that you eat that is not real food is a net negative to your function. I don't care about your weight. I don't care about if it's going to be in your macros and help you burn body fat, because I don't care about your body fat. Sorry. I want you to function well. I want your metabolism to be as efficient as possible. I want you to be healthy. Body fat does not determine health. Metabolic function determines health. The decisions that you make in what you eat, just like the decisions that you make in what you do and how you use your body and your fitness and your exercise and your activity every day, should be based on, am I helping my body get better at its function and how it works every single day? This is one of the huge, huge, huge reasons why I want you guys to start thinking about quality of life over body fat. Body fat is so limiting and so it puts things into perspective that actually gets you moving in the wrong direction. Often you can go off trail. Okay, here's my analogy for focusing on fat loss. When you focus on fat loss, if you guys have ever done this before, you're walking in the woods, you're on a path. If you look straight at your feet while you're walking, you will run into a tree. If you're walking on the sidewalk and you work straight at your feet while you're walking, you're going to run into a light pole. Go try it. Okay. That's fat loss. That's you focusing on fat loss. You're going to go off track and you're going to run into something. Okay. If you focus on quality of life, you lift your head and you look in front of you and you try to figure out where you are going. Where am I going? What are the things in my way? What do I need to walk around? How do I get where I'm going? Quality of life is going to help you make better decisions that are actually going to help you improve all of this. And the fat's going to take care of itself. You don't got to worry about the fat. Okay. Main areas affected. When we talk about chronic inflammation, we talk about our body not having a natural response to something that we put in our mouth. Okay. Gut irritation, leaky gut, all of the issues with gut health. Okay. I'm going to be talking about a theory that I have when it comes to gut biome and bacteria in your gut. This is part of it. Okay. There's some things that we're starting to understand. There's so much about gut health that we don't understand right now. But there's some new information and there's some things coming out in discussions right now in the community about diversity and what we really may or may not need to have in our gut to be efficient at the things that we eat and how our body works. But I do know this: when you eat food that your body doesn't have a response for, your gut freaks out. It doesn't know what to do, and it's going to cause problems. Okay, remember, inflammation is a response to stress. If I'm stressing out my gut, it's going to get inflamed. An inflamed gut is not good for anybody. Okay. Hormone response. These things are designed to make you hungry. Your satiety is screwed when you eat junk food. That's what it is. If it has to have a label, okay, mental game, guys. If it has to have a label for you to know that it's healthy, is it really healthy? If you're finding foods in the junk food section, not in the whole food section on the outside of the store, right? There's not a keto meat section. There's not a keto dairy section. There's not a keto vegetable section. Is there? If you're getting things in the same sections as the foods you used to eat, what's the difference? I want you to think about that. Okay. Hormone response. You're not changing much. Okay. You're still going to overeat. I guarantee it. Your liver still has to process toxins just like it does any other time. So if you're eating things and your body's like, hey, this ain't good for me, I need to get it out, you're going to overwork your liver. Your liver's not happy. If it's doing all of that work, responding to stress, what happens? What's the response to stress? Inflammation. We don't need inflamed livers. We don't need livers that are working to clean up our system while it's also trying to do all the other hormone work and everything else that we're doing. Okay. Livers, our kidneys, all of the things, all of the different organs that are meant to manage and filter and process and all of the major organs that are meant to manage our metabolism don't know what to do with the foods that we're eating. All right. And we talked about stress in general, oxidative stress, all the problems. Okay. Inflammation, chronic inflammation. Okay. Because remember, inflammation by itself is good when it's never ending inflammation because we keep doing things to cause stress to our body. That's not good. All right. Chronic inflammation is really a cause that affects a cause of all the issues because it affects all the systems of our body, going back to the toxicity, our liver, our gut, our kidneys, our heart, our lungs, like all of the issues that we have, our brain. Oh my God. All of the issues that we have in our major organs from chronic stress pretty much cause all of the issues that we have for diseases and illness in the world today. Okay. I've been coaching for a while, 4 years or so as carnivore. I've been coaching in health and fitness for almost 12 years. three main things from the nutrition side. Okay. And this is a little bit different because I haven't been keto the whole time, but three main things, reasons people stall in their progress. And the big one is adherence to a program, getting on a program and not following it. Okay. That's pretty obvious. The second one is a lot of people had issues with dairy, and they don't want to acknowledge it or realize it. But once they stop eating dairy or cut back a little bit, they start seeing more progress. That's very common, very, very, very common. And then the third one is junk food. Okay. Particularly, and I'm saying junk food, but what I really mean is health food. Okay. Replacements for foods that they're used to eating, that are claims to be healthy and fit within a parameter that they're setting, even though it's really holding them back. And the minute they stop doing that, they start seeing the progress that they've been wanting to see. Okay. Those are the three things. Okay. If you're stuck in either of those three things are in play, maybe you've been, you're at a point where you've been consistent, you cut back dairy and you're still not seeing a change. Start looking at what you're eating. The quality and the food choices you're making, are they whole foods, natural, as close to their original version, I guess, original source as possible, or do they come in a box with a label and have keto on the side, or low carb, or diet, or 0 calories? Okay. I can't answer that. That's something you got to figure out for yourself. Okay. Couple thoughts. Okay. Couple thoughts to think about. 0 calories, and I just have these in my notes. 0 calories, 0 carbs means 0 natural metabolic processes. Write that one down. Okay. 0 calories, 0 carbs means it's literally not food. If it doesn't have calories, it's not food. Your body does not have a process to handle it. Okay. If it just passes right through, does it really just pass right through? Your body has to have some kind of response, right? If it needs a health label, it's probably junk food. Okay. There is no keto meat section. Remember that one. And here's another one, something we haven't talked about. Do you really know what's in there? How many times have you gotten a product? You look at the label, you look at everything, you're like, hey, this is cool. It should be good. And then you eat it and you have some kind of a response like, wait, there's something in here that doesn't make sense. Right? I know it's happened to me. I know it's happened to people that I work with all the time. Just remember, guys, food companies do not have to put everything on their labels. And even if they do put stuff on their labels, often, very, very, very often, they lie about the amount. They put a different name on there. They omit certain things. You cannot trust anything that's on a label in many cases. Okay. Anything. Okay? There's very few exceptions with that. Particularly, there's some companies where I personally know the owners, and they put more stuff on the labels than they probably need to, because they want to be as transparent as possible. And I appreciate that. And, I'll just tell you right now, Keto Chow, Real Salt, those two main companies right there. If you're doing something, and you want to know some examples of companies who are as transparent as possible with what they're putting in their products, those are two good ones. Okay. I trust them implicitly. All right. Some stuff to think about, guys. I know it's not easy stuff to listen to. It's not easy stuff to hear, but your body has a response. There is no net zero in anything that you put into your mouth. Everything is either a net positive or a net negative, and you have to decide what you're putting in, which direction it's going to go, and what are you okay with doing? Okay. Hope that makes sense. I hope that wasn't too deep and too serious for everybody. I know it's a hard topic because we all have things we like. Guys, I love certain things, and it's hard for me sometimes to think about not eating them. Okay. I've been there. I've done that. Okay. But I tell you what, I really, really, really enjoy my life at almost 50 years old. and the things that I can do now because of the things I've decided not to do. Okay, there's the question. What do you want to do? Because you can't do everything. You cannot have your cake and eat it too. I don't know why that saying is a thing, but I don't know where that came from. But you can't improve your quality of life and hold on to all of the things that kept you from having a good quality of life at the same time. You got to figure out for you which direction you want to go and what you're willing to give up so that you can gain more down the road. Okay. All right. Yes, Claire, basically, if it says no calories, it probably isn't food. Okay. Hope that makes sense, guys. A little deep today, a little serious. I wasn't quite as bubbly as I am all the time. You guys know me. If you have any questions, as always, please ask. If you're not in the Facebook group, join the Facebook group, Ultimate Ketogenic Fitness. If you're not subscribed, subscribe. I think I already said that. And don't forget, the book is coming out soon. I'm hoping to let you guys know if you've signed up for the free copy, which there's a link in the Facebook group. If you sign up for the free copy, then I should be sending something out next week with your first link. So that's the plan. All right, take it easy, guys. Thanks a lot. See you next week.